What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZBCN, Zebec today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? It is the 19th day of October, and here we are sitting at about $0.004 with 7 hours and 9 minutes left in the day. Up 3%, it's nice, but I feel like, since September really began, we've just been right at this exact price every single time. We're a little bit up, we're a little bit down, whatever, but we're right here every single time I make a video. We're right at 0.004. I do believe we're going to move higher. I do believe we're going to see some recovery and breakouts and new all-time highs and all that. That's coming. It's very possible, and we should be aware that first we could see slightly lower lows. And it's okay, right? Compared to these lows that we've been holding really since September as well. It is possible that we go a little bit below there, and if we do, we'll rally right afterwards. So whether it's up now or down first and then up, whatever, we're going there one way or another. I think we're just waiting on Bitcoin, on the rest of the markets here. Bitcoin's trying to prove itself, and if you didn't catch any of my other videos, I've been saying, and I think that it's important to pay attention to Bitcoin as far as ZBCN is concerned, right? Because you're probably not going to see Zebec rally if Bitcoin is in the dumps, right? If it continues to dump. So it is possible that this is the low. It's very possible this is the low. However, we might see some kind of trickery where there's a higher low, a double bottom, or even a slightly lower low, something like that. Any of those options could happen. I doubt we go below 100K. Okay, we're not going to break that level there. But it is possible that we get a little shaky before we move higher, clear out some long positions, add on some short positions. You could break below this range here, and then we move higher after we get like a double bottom, higher low, something like that could happen. So even if Bitcoin is bullish overall, and we are very bullish on Bitcoin at these levels, it is possible that it could still go a little bit lower, and that could directly affect the price of Zebec as well. Now, we have seen it in the past where Bitcoin can even make lower lows, and Zebec holds higher lows. It's very possible, or it remains unfazed or largely unfazed, but it's something to be aware of, that we could see slightly lower lows. And if we were to incorporate that in our analysis, not taking the fake out high here, but I think, something around the golden ratio, 0.0033 is a very acceptable possible outcome. Something just above there, something just below there, but something in that area makes sense. However, as the days go on, as Bitcoin looks like this, the rest of the markets are shaping up. ZBCN itself is even shaping up. It kind of seems as though we might not see these levels. Let's look at the short-term stuff. Let's look at the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily. We'll zoom back out to this and just see what we're dealing with here as far as our indicators are concerned. So looking at the 1 hour time frame, we are moving up. It's nice to see. I want some volume on this. Let's put some volume here. Nothing crazy, but still above average volume. Yes. You're decaying in volume here, but it's still above average. How do I know it's above average, right? Am I just eyeballing it? No, because you see my histogram here, this volume MA. Look at these little lines, right? You see how they get really dark, or they're invisible, right? I bring them on. Anytime that you're above those lines, it's above average volume. I actually want to change the color, make it pop a little bit more. Can we get it to pop? Ooh, that looks nice. Let's do that. Yellow's good. I feel like that pops more. Anyways, above average, right? The volume's above the histogram, so it's above average. Anyways, selling volume is also above average on the 1 hour time frame. RSI rejecting the overbought zone as soon as you get in there. That's not a good look. Neither is that with the stochastics. And then the MACD, possibly crossing here. Unlikely with the way that this candle looks here, but you never know. You could be finding turbulence. It's very common. Even whenever you do find resistance on the zero, it's common enough for the blue line to get above it, even the orange line to get above it. You'd still be rejecting the zero. Wouldn't be surprised if that's what we were doing. Let's see, looking at the 4 hour time frame. But it does depend on Bitcoin. Again, if Bitcoin gets bullish here, if Ethereum gets bullish, the rest of the markets get bullish. It's hard to hard to imagine that ZBCN stays bearish. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hold on. I'm going to drink some water. Okay. What is that? Okay. Anyways, 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, it kind of makes sense that we'd find resistance here, doesn't it? Right? Doesn't it? Seems appropriate. Not only that, but you're right at the 60, which is a classic area to reject. Doesn't seem to be a classic area for you, though. You don't seem to find too much. There you go. There's some resistance back there, yeah. Around these areas, just happens to be specifically right at it there. But more or less, you do find resistance in this area. So common enough. I mean, Overall, let's be frank, it does look like a bearish RSI. Pretty neutral to be fair, but it is more bearish leaning. You have lower highs and lower lows. That's how we know. And then also you're living predominantly below the 50, at least recently. So I would say it is, versus here you were living predominantly above the 50, higher lows, higher highs, right? Now you're kind of in this lower low, lower high trend, living predominantly below the 50. It's pretty obvious that it's bearish. Rejecting here, I would think you come lower. So with that, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see lower prices here. Does that mean that we go all the way down to 0033? No. We could even go a little bit below there. It's fine if we do something in this kind of area, 0031, 0033. But we could find support just below these lows. It depends. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a fake out to the downside here. That's just not enough volume. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, that's really not enough volume for this to be an appropriate breakout of this range. I think that we're probably going to come back down. Looking at this from a low, nope. Low there, high here. Just missed the 382. Yeah, this, depending on what we do, we got 3 hours and 3 minutes left in this 4-hour candle. If we close below 00394, this candle or any candle, we likely will go lower. We likely will go lower than this low. And in which case, again, 0035, 0034, those are acceptable targets. The technical target is 0033, but you don't have to go there. But just, being transparent, that is the technical target. And even a little bit below there is acceptable as well. Right? A modest break of this range, and then you move up higher. I could see it happening. It makes sense to me. We just focused on the RSI. Stochastics rejecting. MACD, it's not impressive. I don't care. Yeah. You're green, cool, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I would say that you look like you want to come down. Daily time frame here. It's disappointing if you do want to go down, because that's actually a nice bounce right there on the 50. I hope I'm wrong. I hope by the end of the day the price is just like closing above 0041. I hope by the end of the day we're validating this as a low. We're moving higher, because this actually would be a nice bounce off the 50 for the stochastics. The RSI is breaking trend a little bit here. Let me use a straight line. Low here, tying up these lows. You see, you're kind of like breaking out of that trend there. You're in areas that you like to find support, though. I mean, if we look at this for what it is, you like to find support, just below this area, right at this area, just below here, right at it there. Maybe you go a little bit lower. MACD makes sense to go lower, I would say, and the stochastics, if you don't find support here, would make sense as well. Yeah, screw it, do it. Go lower, I dare you. Or prove me wrong. Again, if you want to prove me wrong, I think the best way to do that would be from a high to a low. I'm not taking the scam wick. I'm just going to take... You know what? Let's actually take this high to low. I think this high to low will be more respected. Prove me wrong. Yeah, just close a day above 0041. Do it. That'll prove me wrong. Do that, and I think things look more positive to the upside than they do negative to the downside. I think that we'd more likely move up higher. Inevitably, though, whenever we do move to new all-time highs, whenever it is time to grow, which will be soon enough, whenever we do see new all-time highs, we're going to see targets all the way up at about 1 cent, 1.4 cent immediately. We're just going to snap there, right? Consolidate a little bit, and then continue to climb all the way up, I think, to 3 to 7.7 cents, somewhere in this target area here. I wouldn't be surprised if we found turbulence in the primary target zone, right? You might even find turbulence at 2 cents and 3 cents here. But ultimately, I'm really expecting that we see this 4.5 to 7.7 cent area. Something like that probably by the end of the year. If not even by the end of November. I mean, this thing can move fast. We've seen it move fast before, right? From a low here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, we were all the way up here. That was a 10x move in 5 weeks. From here, you could be at 4.5 cents and it's the end of November. So, I mean, maybe this target area is reserved for December, but these target areas might be reserved for November, just to be clear there. Just because you've moved this fast before doesn't mean you'll move that fast now, but I do anticipate this move overall will be bigger than our last move was. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you're confused as far as what my expectations are, short term, I am expecting lower lows, slightly lower lows, okay, at the moment. I wish I was expecting higher prices. I want to see this thing grow, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm just going with what I'm seeing in the charts, and if I'm wrong, cool. That's fine. Move up. Do it. I dare you. I want you to. I would really like that to happen, but I think we'll see slightly lower lows, and then we'll move up. And if I'm right, this should happen sometime soon. These lows should happen sometime very, very soon, like within the next couple of days. If I'm wrong and we're still doing this 2 days later or moving higher, I'm certain that the signs will change. The indicators, the charts will look more bullish. There will be a different posturing going on, and we'll look like we're going to break out and move higher. So depending on what we do here can really determine if we do go lower or if it holds up. But I've laid out my expectations. Inevitably, I do expect that we will see new all-time highs. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.